Good evening, this is Tiamat's Tarot. So, I'm actually going to be doing a little bit different routine than usual today. So, I decided that I was going to do some channeled messages. And I thought, in order to do them, I am going to use a little bit of tarot, but I am going to just channel freely. And I'm going to get some unconditional love messages from Tiamat to see exactly what is going on in the collective right now and exactly what messages are coming through from the divine and the higher vibrational entities that I am able to tap into, especially Tiamat, who I'll just give a quick brief introduction into who Tiamat is. Tiamat, the ancient Sumerian story of the beginning of how we came into existence. There is the water mother goddess called Tiamat. And basically, the reason why I work so well with Tiamat is because Tiamat very strongly represents a very strong aspect of my personality now. And I'm not going to go too deep into who exactly she is and why she resonates with me, because that's personal to me right now. And I'm not ready to share that on this channel for personal reasons, because I've been gaslit a lot for it, to be honest. And I'm not ready to actually talk openly and honestly about it until I have actually even found out more myself as well. So, and I don't feel like that's going to be exposed to me at this current point in my life. And I will put a timestamp for those of you that don't want to listen to me ramble on. So, yeah, with that being said, I'm going to get into the channeled message now. So I'm going to let Camille go, and that's my name, by the way, Camille. I'm going to let her go so that Tiamat can come in and bring you these channeled messages. And I just wanted to let you know before I go into my emotional side of my brain that if you need to get a cup of tea or settle down and relax right now, make sure that you're getting something to ground yourself, whatever it is that you do, whether you smoke, whether you drink, do whatever it is that you need to get comfortable, because I'm not sure how long this is going to last, because channeling isn't logic. So I thought I'll explain. Because we are using our emotional side of our brain, the rational side of our brain goes away, so we actually become timeless. So yes, let's get into the channeled message now at 2:50. Okay. I'm just going to write that down actually, because otherwise I'll forget. Sorry about that. One moment. 50 times 10. Okay, so let's get into it. See ya. Okay, the energy that's coming in at the moment in the planet right now is that of a transitional phase between the third dimension to the fourth dimension. This is a time period where you may be noticing that you are getting over illnesses a lot quicker, especially if you are higher vibrationally than your other counterparts, than your other teammates, so to speak, currently. So you are at the moment going through a transitional phase where you have had a lack of love on your planet to experiencing now a lot more love, and in order to raise your light quotient, things have to fall away, which may seem like things are becoming chaotic. So allowing that to happen is important at the moment. Allowing it to just transition and go through the motions is very important. The type of things that you may be noticing that are happening at the moment are things like you don't need to be with your loved ones to give and receive love from them. So you can tap into the love that is ready and available for you without having to actually be in their auric field. This is really, really beautiful. This means that you can send distant messages of love to your loved ones, and this means that you can essentially celebrate and know that those who have crossed over are not ever that far away from you, because they are continuing to impact on your life and they are continuing to be a part of your existence. So let's head into tarot. Okay. So at the moment, collectively, we have all lost a lot of faith right now, because a lot of things have started falling apart. This has meant that because we can only see what's going on the 3D level, what is going on right in front of our faces physically, we are unable to have hope that things will get better, because we aren't able to understand that there is more out there waiting for us. We are finding that we have got blockages in our abundance mind states, and we are stuck at the moment in a scarcity mind state, which means that we are not able to co-create with other people as easily as we should be able to at this current point in time. This is meaning that business partnerships aren't going to plan, relationships are, well, to say the least, failing, and even twin flame partnerships are not divine at the moment. This is because the vibration on the planet is not ready to support these things. It is in the motions getting ready for these things. Now, this has confused a lot of people, because realizing that we're in the dawn of the age of Aquarius has meant that a lot of people have thought that this should mean that we are already in this high vibrational, loving, nurturing, humanitarian age, but this is not what it means at all. What it means is we are transitioning from the Piscean age to the Aquarian age. So what this means is, it means essentially that as old things are breaking down, there will be a lot of pain coming up to the surface to be transmuted so that it can shift into this new humanitarian age. It's like, so for example, the age of Leo had to break down in massive floods, such as Atlantis being flooded, and massive bombs, or whatever it is that you believe in, but it was documented by the Egyptians that there were great flashes of light, and it also, I believe, is documented, I'm not 100% sure on that one, but I believe it was documented in the Bible as well, that there were great flashes of light. So what my point is, I can't remember what my point is because I'm channeling. Anyway, swiftly moving on. So I'm only beginning channeling at the moment, so I do have breaks where I can tend to go into my logic mind, and so bear with me for a moment, because it's difficult, as I was raised in an era and an epoch where masculinity was valued over femininity. So anyway, you're going to find at the moment that you don't need to actually physically need to be with your loved ones for them to pick up on the messages that you are sending them. You're going to find that your intuition is working a lot quicker, and it is a lot more effective because of this. So you may find that you just know something is going to happen before it happens, and then it does, and you're entirely correct about it, and you don't know how, but it's because your innate body knows already, because it has already seen, because on the 5D level we already know everything that has ever been and will ever be. So we're starting now to connect into this, which means that people are not going through the same level of karma as they used to. So before, people would have to go through these long processes of finding out these cycles, finding out the lessons behind these cycles. It would be a very grueling, tough process. But because we are at a point where basically everything that humans, as we knew it, could have learned was learned, we are now evolving. So there are certain human beings that are going to go off and become like earth angels, which will be ascended vibrationally higher than the rest of the population. And I'm not saying that they're any better than other people, they are not, and that doesn't mean that Pleiadians are better than other people, because usually Pleiadians are often very technologically advanced and very clever when it comes to how to organize societies and how to organize affairs. That does not mean that they are any better than any other person, but what it means is we are all going to be going off and finding our own place. We're not going to be fighting the human race anymore. We're not going to be racing to the top anymore, because that was part of the Piscean age, was about greed, money, power. And we don't need to worry about that type of thing anymore. We're going to uplift other divine empresses around us. We're going to uplift the other kings that are around us. I'm going to say this lightly, but you're going to find that people are not going to cheat as much, because they're going to be happy with the person that they're actually in a relationship with. So they're not going to need to cheat on someone, because they're getting their needs met with the person that they're actually in the relationship with. So they don't need to go off and have their needs met by anyone else, and they don't need to hurt the person that they're in a relationship with, because oneness is going to be taking effect a lot as well. So we're all going to be connected with source a lot more, which means that when we step into a relationship with someone else, we are going to only be stepping into relationships with other people that are benefiting the highest good of the whole planet, which means that also, as oneness is going to be taking its course of action, what essentially we will have happen is we will start to become one with each other more, which means that we will be able to get into relationships that are indicatory of that, which means essentially that when we enter into relationships, we aren't going to go through the same karmic cycles. Karmic cycles are going to be a lot shorter and a lot quick. We're going to learn our lessons a lot quicker, especially those that are the light workers that are going through the change right now, because you are going to be the first ones who have the capacity in your body to hold the light within you. So essentially, being a light worker, you are able to hold the high vibrational frequency within you. It doesn't make anybody any more special than anybody else, because that is a lot of stigmatism that often gets attached to light workers. People often will say, oh, you think you're something special, or oh, you have a god complex, or something like that. But no, they are not any more special than anybody else. People who are light workers are in fact very hard workers. Most people that you will ever meet who is a life worker is constantly putting out content on media. They are constantly building up themselves. They are constantly healing other people around them. So being a light worker isn't all fun and games, because we have to be responsible for those who are around us as well as our own selves, which takes an incredible amount of toll and stress on your body. So if you are able to hold that much light within yourself, that means you are a light worker, but that does not mean that you are more special than anybody else. Just because you hold darkness within yourself does not mean that you are any worse than anybody else either. It just means that we were all here to have our own role in this game on how this ascension plays out. Some people are going to stay in the matrix, and some people are actually going to even descend into the matrix from a higher vibrational plane. But don't worry about what other people are doing, just worry about what it means for you. And if you're finding yourself here, the chances are you are a light worker. In fact, I know that you're a light worker, because you're an old soul. At least you're not necessarily 100% a light worker, but you're an old soul. You have been called here because your soul is retrieving itself. It remembers the things that it has been through in other lives, and it wants you to wake up in this life so that you can be divine in this life. So you're going to find that you are healing a lot quicker. You're going to find that you are not arguing with people. You're going to find that if someone challenges your authority, and you're going to see their intentions, so you're going to realize the reason why people are challenging your authority. If they are a lower vibration than you, you'll realize this is just because they want part of you. And if they are a higher vibration than you, you're going to realize this is just because they're testing you to see if you're worthy of being on their level one day. You're also going to find that you are going to make a lot of long-lasting friendships and family dynamic relationships. This is because you are getting in touch with your soul family. So this is basically, the vibration on Earth is now high enough that we are able to communicate with people who we were actually in contact with before we were born. We didn't actually previously have the knowledge that this is what we were doing. But now as we are waking up, we're starting to remember what these people's impacts were on our lives. And we're not gaslighting ourselves either, because previously we may have thought, oh, I was this person in a previous life, or this person was me, or we were sisters in a previous life, or they were my enemy in a previous life. The reason why you would not have known this in the past is because you would have looked at this and you would have blocked out your own intuition, and you'd have gone, no, that couldn't have possibly be true. That can't possibly be right, because of course we can't have been brothers and sisters in a different life. Having brothers and sisters in a different life is just all woo-woo bollocks and, you know, that kind of thing. So just getting in touch with, sometimes that happens. You're going to find that really dark events are not happening so much, and those that they do happen to, rather than being forced into the shadows and being forced not to speak about it, those people are going to be like the heroes of society. So those people are going to be people who are coming out and talking about their problems. They're going to be people who are telling other people how not to go through the same experiences, and they're going to be uplifting other people around them so that they don't have to go through the same experiences. And we're not going to victim blame other people as a society as much, because we are going to realize that none of us are victims. We are all survivors, and we can all get through whatever is given to us at any time. And the more that people start to step out about awful traumatic experiences that they have had, such as Britney Spears, for example, the more that other people who are just citizens will be able to come out and speak about their experiences that they have had in their households, their domestic abusive relationships. Lots of people who will not have been able to talk about their fathers abusing them or their mothers abusing them because of celebrities coming out and talking about their conservatorships or whatever it is that is coming out. This is going to mean that especially women are going to feel a lot more comfortable in their bodies, and people are going to get sexually abused less, basically, so to speak. And as we enter into a matriarchal age, we are going to find that because women are very nurturing and loving, men, if they do get sexually assaulted, it's not going to feel the same as when men sexually assaulted women. Now I'm going to swiftly move out of that energy because this isn't something I want to talk about too much, but this was something that needed to be brought up for some of you that needed to hear this, so I will channel whatever comes through. Anyway, you're also going to find that children seem to be growing up quicker. However, you're also going to be finding that adults are staying younger for longer. So you're going to find that the indigo children that are coming to their teenage years right now are going to be seemingly wise for their age. They're going to be developing very quickly, and they're going to be very intelligent. You're going to be having 20-year-olds who have wisdom of 80-year-olds. You're going to be finding 2-year-olds who are speaking like 20-year-olds. You're going to be finding 80-year-olds who look like 20-year-olds because of the way that people are going to be looking after their health. We are going to fall out of the trap of reincarnation, and we are going to fall back into the time of the Tree of Life. We're going to go back onto Zion. The mountain is going to, I don't want to speak too much about the logical side of things, but the mountain is going to be restored in Zion. So the thousands of light workers are going to have a home space to live in, and this is going to be a very beautiful place. Lots of family, lots of friends, lots of white doves, purity, purify, sage, lots and lots of cookies, lots of love hearts, lots and lots of smiles, laughing, massage, oils, divine femininity, similar to the way that Aphrodite was treated. This is going to be the norm for most women. This is going to be the norm for most women, and those who are privileged women are going to be treated even better than Aphrodite was. Sorry to say that to you, Aphrodite, but mothers are going to be reunited with their children, and they're not going to be taken away from their children. They're not going to be preyed upon anymore. People who are weak aren't going to be preyed upon by people with Machiavellian tendencies, and people with Machiavellian tendencies are going to be shown exactly for who they are. People are going to see other people for the manipulatory tactics that they do, and people are going to open their hearts more to unconditional love. Children are going to feel connected with their parents, with their birth parents, with their true birth parents, even if they're not in physical connection with their birth parents. The rise of birth parents looking out for their children right now is just going to get more and more. The more people put out information on social media, the more that other people are going to feel inspired, and they're going to start contacting their birth children. This is just for some of you. However, I have noticed myself in 2021, in 2020 it was already getting big enough, but in 2021 the amount of birth parents that are out there searching for their children has gotten incredible, and it makes me so proud to be a mother, to see other mothers out there fighting for their children as well. And it is truly what we wanted for you. The reason why when we created this earth, we went through awful perils. We went through awful perils with our own children. This was to teach you humans how to get through it yourself, how to ascend your own vibration. When Adam and Eve first took the bite from that tree of knowledge, they did not know what the hell was going on. But now the vibration on earth has been raised, the light quotient has gotten to a point where we are able to actually receive this knowledge and know what to do with it. We are able to move into a time period where people are going to live forever. There are going to be certain people who are going to be definitely at the moment looked at as crazy, as weirdos by the rest of society, especially those who are don't need to say anything else because I don't want to get but you're going to find that those who are looking at you are going to be actually secretly starting to be envious, and those who have previously been quite nasty to you because of the way that you have stood up for your opinions are going to start to realize that maybe you do have some kind of credibility as they see you getting younger, healthier, as they see your health start to flourish and improve, as they see that you don't get common colds, as they see that you don't get illnesses and infections, as they see that your heart seems to be really healthy, as they see that your body is very healthy, as they see that your face is healthy, as they see that your hair, your skin, your teeth, just take it however it resonates. As they see that you're becoming healthier and healthier, your talking voice is going to get a lot more louder and a lot more clear because you're looking after yourself, you're drinking enough. You're going to really be showing the whole society who you are, and they're going to realize that, oh my goodness, this divine emperor or empress was actually right this whole time, and they're going to start to ascend and uplift their own vibration because of it. And going back to the point about parents, it's going to get easier and easier for parents to retrace their steps to their children. So the reason why in a patriarchal time we were not able to necessarily access our own gifts of unconditional love is because there was some very dark entities that were feeding off of us. They are known by some as the Illuminati or the Freemasons or whatever it is that you want to call them. They were feeding off of all of the happiness, all of the life force on the planet. This is why they were often putting out awful, scary news, because they fed off of your fear, but they also fed off of your happiness, which is why they would put out movies like the perfect happy family Christmas movies. Everybody gets that nostalgic feeling of that perfect happy family moments, because essentially what they were doing is they were feeding off of your energy so that you weren't going out there and putting out your own energy yourself, because they wanted their 13 bloodlines to get better and to keep ascending, and for you guys to stay stuck and to be their slaves. And they didn't want real divine empresses and emperors to be able to find out the truth of their own ancestry and their own genealogy. And now, well, the lost tribes of Israel are waking up, let's just say that, to say the least. Hope I don't get banned from YouTube for saying all of these things, but you're not going to get banned for saying any of those things. You're being divinely guided to say these things. You're not going to get banned, and if you do get banned, you can put them back up there. So as you find you're listening to your higher self more, you're going to find that you are more lucky, you're going to find that you're more abundant, you're going to find that opportunities are really just coming to you. And this all comes from your divine feminine nature. So we all have divine feminine and divine masculine polarities between us. But this means that at the moment, women or people who are more feminine bodied, people who are more feminine physically, are going to be better channels for this energy, because this is creative energy. So they're going to be able to create more at the moment. However, they're not going to be putting the steps into towards actually making these plans. So feminines are often going to be actually speaking out their ideas, speaking them into existence, and then the masculines are going to go, hold on, that was a really good idea that feminine just had. I think I might start putting those plans into action. Then masculines are going to start to ground these energies into the physical reality. So it's going to be a time where divine counterparts are going to be very, very important. That's why twin flames right now are being called to come together and start relationships and to be in union, because the more males and females are able to work together and see each other as equals, the more we are going to have success. So the less time that we struggle fighting for dominance, the less time that we spend worrying about who's better than who, the less time that we spend trying to figure out which sex is more intelligent sex or the more witty sex, the more that we are actually going to realize that we both have our individual unique talents and our own abilities that contribute towards our ascension process. And the more that we align ourselves and co-create together, the more that we are going to have a successful epoch, and the more that we are going to be able to bring this golden age to full fruition. So at the moment, you are being called to push your energies more towards collective energies rather than putting it into selfish business ideas at the moment, or whatever it is that you're currently working on. You're being called at the moment to work towards things that are going to actually help the whole of your community. So you may find that some plans that you have had are going to be falling apart, and you may find a lot of the things that you have planned to do may not work out the way you have wanted them to, and you may find that you are not going to be doing what you have logically thought that you would be doing. You are just going to be going with the flow. For example, you're not going to be setting out things that you're not going to be going for things that you have been setting out on a pattern. You're just going to go with the free energy that is around you, and you're going to go with the flow, and you're not going to worry about, you're going to be thinking about your own needs and the community's needs. So you're going to be acting with integrity for yourself and with the community. And the whole of humanity right now is going to be going through a different shift based on themselves. However, people who were more narcissistic are going to start to become more empathetic, and those who were empathetic are going to become more narcissistic. This is all in order to bring balance into the planet, and those who were more Machiavellian and dark are going to start to become more pure and light, and those who were more pure and light are going to start to become a little bit more dark, not necessarily in a harmful way, but I'm getting the feeling to protect their own energy from being like taken advantage of. With that being said, this is all that I am going to channel for today. I hope that this resonated with some of you guys, and so this is Camille now. If you liked this, then please let me know in the comments down below, because this is something new that I have only just started working on, and I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with it or if I am going to just go back to just doing the tarot cards. So I would appreciate if you actually would let me know any feedback that you have for me. I would also appreciate if you let me know if it resonated with you, because that helps me to tap into my intuition if I know that it has been helping people. Also, if you haven't yet, please check out my links down below, like, subscribe and comment. I would just said comment, but and I will see you in the next reading or energy message. This is an energy message, but I will see you when I next see you. Hopefully you are a returning subscriber, and I will see you lots and lots. So goodbye. It was lovely to meet you if you're new here, and it was lovely to see you again if you are a returning subscriber. See you in the next video. Bye.